Hey guys, can you hear me? This is the second of my Thursday weekly draw streams where I just draw and get on camera and start talking at you for no reason. But yeah, I hope the sound is coming through all right. Um, I just set up my microphone and let me see. I got my camera set up so that it's coming from my iPhone. And I finally figured out how to get my what do you call it? My iPad stuff on there. So let me see if I can go ahead and change that now. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, share screen. Yeah, this whole time I didn't realize I had an entire like freaking StreamYard or like streaming setup just available there. So dang it. Okay, so let me see. Here we go. Wow. All right. I'll just share the entire screen. Okay, let's see how this will work. And so I got that going. And then this is the screen of my iPad, what it's focused on right now. And if I go over here, yeah, everything I have is just Fox Orion stuff. So yeah, I just love his art. All right. Okay. Nice. Yeah, I think that's working out. All right, so you guys can see what I'm drawing. I'm wondering if you can hear me though. That's the only thing. Let me make sure I can see comments. And it looks like I'm good. All right. So I'm basically just drawing sanely right now, trying to finish it up for um for the full release. Like I'm gonna be coloring this, getting it flatted, and then releasing the whole comic once it's ready to go. Awesome. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for saying that you can hear me. Let me see how I can interact with comments. Paul. Dope. Paul Philpott. Yeah. Appreciate that, man. All right, cool. So my microphone's coming through. And wow, I've never done this before. It's a lot easier for me to draw on my iPad than it is for me to draw anywhere else. So, um, yeah, I'm glad I was able to get this working. I'm gonna move my stuff on my desk to make sure it's all good. Don't want to mess that up. Here we go. And yeah, I'll just be drawing stuff on my iPad right now. So this is from page, I think it's from page let's see, 20. Man, I didn't have these labeled. So this is page 20, and then this is probably page 21. Okay, yeah. This is page 21, where one of the demons that are following them is revealed. So Vivi, I don't know if this is a spoiler and nobody really cares. Nobody's really watching this, but she can see demons. That's why her eyes look like that. And um in the story, in this point in the story is when a demon shows up or when somebody who has a lot of demonic energy around them, she notices them and she's like, oh no, this is not good. So they try to get away, they try to escape. And so I got a note from one of my mastermind buddies, like one of my guys in my like writing group, to put a more clear indication that she is lifting her glasses in this scene. And I was just like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let me go ahead and do that. So I'm drawing a little bit of a hand here so that you can see her um, lifting her glasses. Because what they said in the group is that subtlety has no place in comics. Like you want to be very clear about the actions that the character is doing and how you're portraying it. So let me make sure, like, I always like to back up from my art and make sure I'm like drawing it correctly. Man, I'm so glad I got this streaming setup the way it is now, because it shows me very clearly, like in 1080p whatever friggin' like quality this is. Like on my laptop, if I go to my laptop quality and add myself to the stage, like this. Oh, you can probably hear like a echo or something. Yeah. Um, Let me turn on the microphone. Okay. Okay, so I turned off the microphone so you can't hear that. And if I don't want to remove the screen, but fuck it. Yeah, like you can see the difference between my cameras. Like this is from my iPhone, the one that I'm pointing at directly to. And then this one is my computer, the one I usually use, the one I used to use in the past, where it would just give me 720p quality. Hey, let me hey, what's up, Koba? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming up. Yeah, I'm just doing a little draw stream. Like I'm trying to make this I fucking like shadow clone myself, dude. But I'm trying to make this like a regular weekly thing where I just go live on Thursdays and just start drawing. So like I finally figured out how to what's the word? How to put my screen my let me remove this guy. Cool. So I finally figured out how to put my iPad screen on here. So now I can actually work and stream at the same time. I mean, I probably could have done this. Well, actually, no, I couldn't. Um, I never figured out how to do this until now. And I think that's because I have my iPhone with me, but I don't know. I never considered trying to stream as a regular thing before. I did like podcasts in the past before with a buddy, and I've done lots of like interviews and stuff like that with people in the past, even you, Koba. So uh figuring out this like layout actually just took one video of, oh, how do I connect my iPad to my computer, and boom, like I figured it out from there. I was just like, oh well, I guess I could have done that the whole time, but now here we go. And I'm just like, okay, cool, let me draw. And so what'd you say? Can I show on stage? Is that possible? Let me see from my phone. Show on stage, darn it. There we go. Said nice. I'm still trying to play around with StreamYard more as well since I've been streaming more. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. StreamYard is the only one that I ever learned and the only one that I feel like I can use comfortably. Uh I'm pretty sure a lot of the skills from StreamYard translate to other streaming platforms, maybe like Streamlabs and stuff like that. But StreamYard is the only one I know. So it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna stick with it until I have to use something else. But right now it's been doing well for me so far. Like it's never you know, jerked me around. So right. Let me see. I think I'm using too thick of a line. I usually like to go with 17 whenever I'm, Jesus Christ. Am I using the right pen? Yeah, I am. What the hell? Okay, it's nothing about the layer. So, all right. And this was just a quickly drawn hand. In fact, it's actually quite shoddily drawn. Let me put some. Jesus Christ. Maybe it's because I put my hand setting on there. Can I use my hand to draw? No. Um, let's see. I don't know why it's just randomly thickening up my lines. Erase that here. Okay, there we go. And yeah, basically I've been learning to draw faster pretty much every day for the last, I don't know how many weeks now. It's to the point where now I've put my drawing pad by my bed. Like I put my not my iPad, but a sketchbook by my bed. And every day, every night, every day, I'll wake up drawing, and I'll go to sleep drawing. So I draw like 5 figures every night before bed, and 5 figures whenever I wake up. So usually I try to set a timer so I wake up at a good time to so where I have enough time to draw when as soon as I wake up. Let me see. I see a comment here. What's okay, so where are ultimately planning to putting Saintly out? And once you do the official release. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm going to put it on basically everywhere that I can put Saintly on. So the what we plan for with my publisher is webtoons. Like we're gonna do on webtoons, and then we're probably gonna do it on Tapas because it's already, if it's formatted for webtoons, it will be automatically formatted for Tapas. But I'm also gonna put it on Global Comics, probably Comics Fury, just anywhere I can post Saintly. And if I could set it up, I'd probably do it on its own website as well. But um yeah, we're gonna do it on webtoons because the point with Saintly is to try to get as many readers as possible first, and then we can worry about, she shouldn't have knuckles that the um get as many readers as possible first, and then worry about like all that other stuff later, like monetization and all that stuff. We're just trying to get the pages done first, and then get this story out there. So what I'm trying to do is get chapters 1, 2, and 3 done first, and then we start posting the comic. And then from the time that we start posting the comic officially, where it's colored, lettered, and everything is done, then I'll be creating it as it goes so that it never takes a break until it's completed, like fully completed and fully released. And that's how we want to release it, so we don't lose the audience attraction, so we don't lose the audience's attention to Saintly and all that. Let's see, here we go. Draw a thumb there, and this hand doesn't look the best, but I mean, I gotta just sort of go with it. Let me see, maybe I can make it just slightly a little bit better if I take these. I'm gonna try to do a little skewing action. Not that, not that much. Yeah, I think that'll work. That'll look better. I can't tell. Okay, what if I flip it? What if I step back? Let's see. Paul Philpott, he says, is Saintly gonna have physical books? Yes, eventually it's gonna have physical books for sure. I don't know if we're gonna do a little release where we do like the first issue in physical, like through Kickstarters. But we're definitely gonna make it into a graphic novel so that people can have the whole collected version, and then they don't have to wait for a bigger book release. Let's see. Kobo, what's up? That's good. You gotta have a buffer. I did the same when I was working on my webcomic a few years back. I drew the first 3 chapters before I released the comic online. Yeah, dude. Because I ran into that problem with Air Rider a long time ago. Like when I released chapter one, I was just like, all right, yeah, chapter one is released. Everybody's gonna read it and love it, and there we go. But I didn't realize how slow I was in making the comic itself back then because I was just like, oh yeah, I'll just put it out whenever. Like I'm not taking it seriously yet, and I wasn't trying to make a living at that time with comics. So I wasn't really focused on speed or anything. I just knew you had to be consistent at some point in order for it to gain a wider audience. But yeah, I just didn't take it as seriously and I didn't build a buffer. So when I was doing Air Rider, I did chapter two, and as soon as chapter two was done, I just dumped it on everybody. I was just like, "Yep, here's chapter two. Here you go, read it." And read it and weep, like it wasn't I didn't have a plan of release with it. I was just like, all right, yeah, here you go, chapter two. And I guess I'll finish chapter three eventually, and I'll post that out. Like by the time I was finished with chapter three, or like finished inking chapter three, I realized, okay, I need to actually space this out, time this out so that I use chapter three as a buffer rather than releasing it all at once. Because when I released chapter two all at once, it was kind of like blowing my load all at once and just being like, hey, yeah, guys, look at my comic. Um, but it only gets that what's the word? It only gets the traction and the attention for that first week or two where you release the chapter, and then after that it just kind of drops off because you're not putting out more content. So people are just like, okay, where's chapter three? Because if you just drop the whole thing all at once, people don't really have anything to look forward to. So it's kind of like, yeah, you just gave away everything. So uh there's nothing to look forward to. And that was the mistake I made with chapter two of Air Rider. I just dumped it on everybody, and then by the time it was time to make like chapter three and put it out there, it was too much time had passed. I just took too long with chapter three. Let's see. Kobe says, I work pretty quickly now. I'm just trying to focus on leveling up the quality of my skills now, artwork and storytelling wise. Yeah, absolutely, man. I saw how fast he did that drawing of Vivi, like back during our stream, and I was just like, damn, like you finished a whole drawing like during our stream while we were talking. I was just like, yeah, I need to be able to create that fast as well, where I'm just not so much caring about uh the quality of things, like how it's going to look. Like I'm still caring about the quality, but I need to just do it, like just do the work and make it come out faster rather than trying to make it look perfect all the time. Like this, I'm still in that habit of trying to make things look perfect. Because I need to, like, I'm not that good at drawing, so I have to draw uh to my highest ability. Like I have to draw my best just to keep up with um people who are basically sketching, like free sketching, and just it comes out good. So I'm just trying to keep up with those guys. Let me see. Her head kind of looks a little bit big. So I want to go ahead and go to this. Can y'all, so y'all can see everything I'm looking at. D Mark was the person who showed me that speed and quality is important. Yes, exactly, dude. Because I would look like at his whenever he drops a chapter of Ruthless Render, I'm just like, dude, how are you even doing this in like 45, 56 something pages in like a month or two? And I'm like, how are you doing this? It's in black and white, but it looks professional quality. There is some like little inconsistencies here and there, but for the most part, I'm just like really, really impressed with the speed and quality he's able to manage in such a short amount of time, especially on top of all his other obligations and work stuff that he has to do. I'm just like, well, I got no other choice but to get fast. Him and that other guy, his name is Third PHP. He draws a lot of comics very quickly as well. Like he is very, very fast, but also really high quality. His anatomy is really high quality, and he's just started posting up videos again. And I'm just like, all right, this is the level. I got to reach that and try to make it work because I already know that I have like writing skills in my back pocket, but if I don't speed up to be able to show people what I can do, then it's almost like it doesn't matter. Like if I can't draw fast enough to put my work out there, then it doesn't really matter how good my writing is because nobody will ever read it. Okay, so that should work better for her hair and how it's positioned. Yeah, it works a little bit better. I'm gonna just hit OK on that and then just do a little back tap. Yeah, it looks much better. Let me actually back tap that. Um, Paul Philpott, he says, as an artist myself, I was wondering how to create a fan base for my comics. Yeah, dude, creating a fan base is really hard at first, especially when you don't have anybody reading your stuff at first. Like it's I don't even know how I got started. I think it's just a combination of posting and being online in a general way throughout the years that kind of helps you get started. Like I've been on YouTube technically since 2000 and actually I don't know, but I started when I was 13 and I'm 29 now. So that was 16 years ago, and if that's 16 years ago, it was around 2009 maybe. So 2009 was when I got started on YouTube, and I wasn't posting consistently, but I posted like the first little video I ever posted was just me talking about like just me as a little nerd talking about my like manga stuff that I had at the time, just like little I didn't really have too many manga books, but I had like a little issue of Shonen Jump. Let me see if I have one on me right now. Yeah, I had like a little issue of Shonen Jump that the cover was torn off and it was just fucked up. But I was like, hey guys, look at my it's called My Manga Things. It's like the first video on my channel ever. And yeah, I was making videos back then and just not consistently, but I saw all the other guys that I was admiring in the industry, like white manga. He was making videos and stuff like that, and I used to do his contest. It was at a point where I was drawing his characters more than my own characters. And I was just like, dang, I should really make my own stuff. Like I'm drawing his characters too much, but I was just trying to win the contest so I could get those like Copic markers that were always it was either Copic markers or Prismacolor markers. But yeah, I started on there and I was posting on DeviantArt back then. So DeviantArt and posting on YouTube was how I got started. And then mostly developing a fan base is like developing like your art style and your voice as a creator, like what you're trying to say to people and what you focus on specifically that nobody else focuses on. And that's what helps people like kind of get into you as a person and into your art. And that's kind of how the spark of developing a fan base works. Because I'm still working on it, you know, I'm still like trying, but doing stuff like YouTube and making comics is what helps. Koba says, yeah, third is good as well. Yep. Unless you do the graphic novelist route, they take years between projects, but they come out with 205. Yeah, we're doing a hybrid of the graphic novel route where we post it as a webcomic so that we can gain readers, and then eventually we'll self-publish it as a graphic novel once people have read the whole story, and then we'll post it out like that. Um, and he said there were many ways to build a fan base, but I'd say find a social media platform and see what works on in that site, who's successful, and start to mimic that. Yeah, that's a good way to do that. Where if you know you like a certain thing and you know why you like certain creators, then you can start trying to do what they do to some extent, to the best extent that you can, and try to build a fan base that way. But like finding your own unique voice in that is, I think, is essential. And he said that's what I do for my channel, essential. Yep, yep. And I want to try to find ways that because I'm not trying to copy anybody specifically, but I want to try to find ways that I can put my um or find creators that are like me. Or right now I'm sort of in that grinding, like, experimental phase where I just post whatever, man. I post whatever I want to talk about and hope that gets views. Like, I kind of have a minor idea of what gets views. Sometimes a video takes off randomly for no reason. I'm just like, okay, cool. I guess people like when I talk about that. And and then sometimes when it goes off, I realize, like, actually I don't have any more to say on this subject. So sometimes the videos that do go off are ones where I don't really have much to say on the subject, so I can't really make it a series or make it into something that is more often talked about. But yeah, right now it's just that experimental phase where I'm just going off, shooting from the hip, and trying to develop my voice without a script. Because if I'm posting videos every single day, like, there's no way I can script out every single thing that I'm trying to say. No, there wouldn't be a line there. I can't script out every single thing I'm trying to say, because then I would be too slow in creating the videos. So yeah, right now I'm just in that phase of post every day. Just spam the algorithm until something takes off, and then I'll have that whole backlog of videos that people will, like, be able to look back at and be like, "Oh yeah, this guy talks about this kind of stuff consistently," and so I'm gonna look at more of what he has to say. I'm almost in the monetization range where I posted enough and got enough watch hours to where. Oh my god. Oh man. Anyways, I'm almost at that point where I've gotten enough watch hours to get people to get monetized on my channel so that I can start making a little bit of cash from this. And so I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I basically decided to stop posting on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook because I was trying to do a little strategy where I post everywhere pretty much every day as much as I possibly can, but it just wasn't going on. It just wasn't working on Instagram or Twitter because I wasn't really posting what the algorithm would want and what people were talking about. So I felt like everything I was posting on Instagram or um Twitter would be better suited for YouTube. And I already had some successes with YouTube in the past and some successful videos. Let me make sure this is good. Click, yep. Some successful videos. So I was just like, all right, well, let me see if I can keep building on YouTube, because there's a lot of people who they would spam well, not spam, but they would post a video every day, and I would watch their videos every day, and I'd be like, you know what? Actually, I'm really enjoying what this guy is saying. I want to hear more. And they would be like, I come back months later for that channel, and they are blown up. Like, they are able to do more YouTube videos. They're developing a community. I'm just like, you know what? I could develop a community as well if I just keep posting YouTube videos and just keep trying. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that I would really want to talk about, like there's a bunch of stuff that gets me excited that I want to start talking about on my channel, but it would require me to put just like a little bit more effort than I'm currently putting into my videos, because a lot of videos I shoot like right after work, where I'm just like, okay, I am done with work and I'm tired as fuck, but I'm just gonna turn on the camera and start shooting some video about something and see whatever see if it works. Let me read the comments. Let's see. COVID said YouTube is the only platform that's worked for me. Yeah, man. Like you have a voice for YouTube. You have a voice that works. Like you know what people are want to watch, and then you just make the videos that people would want to see. Like I've watched some of your videos, especially on like anime and the and comics in the industry, like especially that one about Dahmer. I'm like, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing on YouTube. So yeah, it's like if you can make YouTube work, then you almost don't even need like Twitter or Instagram or whatever, you because you're already on the biggest platform. So yeah, that's why I went all in on YouTube. I'm just focusing on this right now, and then maybe I'll go back to, I'll pepper in some Twitter and Instagram here and there, but really Instagram and Twitter are really better for artists like people who are like super focused on making like good art, and they post, and then boom, they know the right post times, they know what people are looking for, they know how to combine different ideas and then post it, and then know that people will look at it and be like, wow, that's cool, I want to see more. And I'm making a whole long form comic, so, and I'm not that good at drawing, so it's like, man, I can't really make it work on Twitter or Instagram quite yet. I have to level up a little bit more. And I've been working on my painting skills too. So like I'll show y'all a little bit of how I'm working on that as well. All right, let me see. I'm gonna try one more time, see if I can show on stage from here. Will that work? No, it won't. Okay. Um what's up, Yoshi Hiroda? How you doing, man? It's too easy to get shadow banned on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. I've never been shadow banned, but I don't really know if I've been shadow banned or not, because I've been stuck at 600 followers on Twitter for a long, long time, like since maybe the end of last year. Yeah, end of last year. I've just been stuck on 600 followers, and it never really goes up or down from that. So I've tried, like there was a time period where I was posting every single day, and I grew from 200 to 600, or like 250 to 600 in that time period where I was posting every single day. And I would post multiple times per day on Twitter just to see if I could build something. But it just didn't really take off, and I think that's because I just didn't post as much after that period. Because there's a point where you finally figure out the algorithm, and then it blows up for you. But I don't think posting on Twitter and blowing up on Twitter would yield as much results as blowing up on YouTube would. So, yeah, that's why I try to post more on YouTube. Let's see. Koba says, I think YouTube is the best platform for artists unless you are doing a bunch of fan art. People who make good fan art do better on Twitter and IG. Yep, yep, they absolutely do, man. And I have this whole thing with fan art that I really, really, really try to do fan art, but I can't make it work for some reason. Like I just there's been times in the past where I tried to do a fan art, and then I just got so bored that I quit. I quit drawing. Like I wanted to draw, like, let's say Broly and Chilai from Dragon Ball, the Super movie, but I was just like, I can't finish this drawing. Like I tried to draw all the way through, but I couldn't, man. I was just like, yeah, I can't really finish this. And I think that's because I'm more interested in drawing my own works. I'm always more interested in drawing my own stuff and um finishing that. And the more time I take away from drawing that stuff by drawing fan art, it's like the more time I take away from doing my own IP, making my own stuff. Let me see. Yoshi says, "Yep, same. Stuck at 600 analytics. We're doing good for a while, then just dropped in one day. Yep. I just don't know why. Um, hey, what's up, Stephen Wings? How you doing, man? Appreciate you. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Uh, Kobe says, I'm bad at fan art. Also, when I do fan art, it of a lesser known characters. Yeah, man. Like I would be doing fan art of Lena Inverse from Slayers if I could, but I mean, it's just I can't even draw like other. I rarely do fan art, and it would be from 90s shows. I'd do a Kenshin fan art. Actually, I did do a Kenshin fan art. In fact, let me show y'all. Um, Let me see. Please do not go to those folders. Okay. Let me see. Did do a Kenshin fan art. Where is that? It was from social media. Type it in. Social media. Social media. There we go. And then yeah, I did a Kenshin fan art, but it sucked. It was bad. Like it wasn't that good. It was supposed to be, and I think I just got back into drawing after like a full year of just trying to figure out how to market stuff and how to copyright and do all that stuff. So I forgot basically how to draw, and then I did this piece of crud, and I posted it online and it got no hit. So I was just like, man, this game is rigged. I can't make it work. But it's mostly because the drawing isn't that good. But I like the idea of it, and I want to do it again at some point, but better. But it was basically Kenshin if he was a demon slayer in Demon Slayer world. Uh, and that's what I drew. But it just didn't. It didn't fit what people are looking for. I can't really guess what people look for on there. Um, Stephen Wing says, "Congrats on the book. Excited to read it." Yeah, man. You can read it in the link in the description, man. It's always available there. And yeah, it's not in the most complete form yet. I'm still like I gotta color it, flat it, and do all that stuff. But once I did, it's gonna be fully ready to read, and then I'm gonna be doing chapter 2 and 3 and keep going from there. So yeah, man. Can't wait for you to check it out. Kobe says that commission of Nightcrawler you did was dope. Oh, appreciate it, man. Yeah, I didn't think it just started recently getting a little bit more traction. Like I posted it a couple months ago after a convention, and then just recently people started looking at it more, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. People are liking this. Maybe I should color it and see if people want to see more of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it wasn't even a fan art. That was a commission. So this guy paid $50 for it, and I was just like, I got screwed by my commission sheet. I got screwed by my old commission sheet. I gotta update that or make it so that I get paid more for doing that, because I really went all in on that because that was the only commission I got that day. So um so I made sure to do it really well. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna take this. I always like to copy my panels so that they aren't uh beholden to the so I don't lose the work, basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and this hand should be here. I'm gonna go ahead and erase all this stuff. Whoops. Go in here and erase all this stuff. And doing things digitally is easy in some ways, but then it's really annoying and hard in other ways because I have to make sure I'm on the right layer. I have to if there's a certain point that I what's the word? That I backtrack too much, then I can't go beyond a certain like I can't control Z beyond a certain point. Um what else? I'm using too small of an eraser. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I just need the big guy. Big guns. Yep. Here we go. And yeah, it's really convenient in some ways, but then annoying in other ways. And it's helping me make corrections and improvements to the art without having to um affect the traditional pages that I was doing. Like I got all the traditional pages in front of me at all times, just off screen right now. So let me, okay. Yeah, that kind of that works. So let me remove these hand marks so that it doesn't look like she has like the most meaty hands in the world. In fact, she should have like small kind of, yeah, there we go. We should have a lot smaller hands. In fact, this pinky is too thick. Like I'm still in air rider mode, dude. I'm still in air rider mode from before where I was drawing all these big ass thick hands like they have in what do you call it? Oh, you know what? I should put some music on. Like they have in Kids Next Door. That's what media assets, blah 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 blah, music, background music, feeding the ducks, I guess. I feel like I can kind of hear something. Is it? Let me know if this is too loud. Is it too loud for you guys? Let me know. In fact, let me check. Yeah. What about low power? I guess that's right. Okay. Brain. Oh. Comments. Yoshi, which one do you prefer, the lo-fi or the what's it called? Feeding the ducks. I like the feeding the ducks one. This lo-fi actually sounds kind of weird. Let me see. That's all right. Steven, he says, I was about to ask if the switch to air rider to this was hard. Yes, it was. I mean, it was in some ways, but in other ways, like it was a little bit easier because I wasn't trying to it says both are cool. Awesome. All right, dope. Yeah, it was hard because I mean, I'm used to drawing girls. I'm used to drawing cute girls. Because I learned a lot of that like growing up, and a lot of my earlier characters were female, like my earlier MCs. But going from Air Rider, where I was trying to do more of a like cartoon style, like I was literally trying to draw outside of what I'm used to drawing, and then I finally got used to that. I finally got used to that style, and then now I have to go back to drawing like anime, like I first figured out. Like, let me make this screen big. There we go. Yeah, like Air Rider style is very cartoony, and looks like it's even more prevalent in the second issue. And by third, like, okay, so it's even more prevalent in second issue. Like, I'm still like figuring it out, and I kind of got it down. Like this little sequence right here, where one of the characters is like, right, okay, yeah, where one of the characters is like, oh no, like this is gonna be like stuff like that. I would be like, yeah, this is funny. This is like hilarious to me in my head. But then, like I finally feel like I got it down. Like I finally got it down in issue 3, where I was drawing like this, where I was drawing like big panels like that, or what else? My favorite page, is it here? It better be here. No. Yeah, there we go. My favorite pages are like these early ones where like I'm drawing like expressions like this with Colton, one of the character that gets bullied, or where's that other one? Or this page, which is like, no, that's not the one. Yeah, this page was just like maybe my first or second favorite page out of that issue. I really wish I could put this out there. Like I wish I had the time to go back and color all of this and letter it, put it out there so y'all can read. Let me remove this from here. But yeah, this like I finally figured out the style for Air Rider in this image, and then like I finally figured out how to add like where is that page? It's one of my favorite. I finally figured out how to like add their hot teacher to the to the art. Like I was just like, man, I need to draw something interesting. So like I started drawing her. I was just like, you know, and then it's probably in this other stack because it is my favorite page. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, this is the page. This is the page everybody looks at conventions, because I mean obviously, you know, you got like big titties and and I drew all the details in the skirt, and I just drew the shit out of it. But I'm really what I really liked is the background. Like I wanted to make it look kind of liminal in the background, where it's just like rows and rows of these like pillars and stuff like that, where you're just like, what kind of space, what kind of school is this place? But then this big titty girl is just in the middle and kind of distracting, but but I really enjoyed it, and it took me a while to figure out the posing for it and make sure that she was like in perspective and drawn correctly, because if she wasn't drawn correctly, it just wouldn't work as well. It wouldn't sell the scene. But yeah, and now doing Saintly is like the first time I'm like really getting back into drawing, but it's not really like getting back into drawing. Like now I have to draw even faster, and what is it? I have to draw so fast that I can't really like dig into the details like I did with Air Rider #3 and make it look like perfect, make it look amazing, like I really want to. I imagine the dynamic poses are quite different with the anatomy being different. Yeah, the poses in Air Rider were more cartoony, and like I could make a joke out of just a face or a pose, but even though this has like comedy elements in Saintly, it's not as cartoony. Like it's more leaning on the anime style. It says it must really impact the compositional choices. Yeah, for sure. And I have to make it. I have to find a way to make it scary or make it frightening or creepy looking when I actually um, do those things. Let me take it off full mode. Go back here. What was I looking for? Oh yeah, I was probably gonna show you my DeviantArt. Yeah, there we go. Because we always like everybody has that comic that they started with that they there we go. Everybody has that comic that they started with that wow that's really showing up. Nice. Okay, that they started with where they wanted to do this big, long, sprawling, epic work of epic proportions, and then it just didn't work out. Like it just didn't go through like you wanted it to. So that's what like that's how I was drawing like female characters before with this comic. So I was trying to make a sprawling epic with this girl with a hammer. Her name is Marley, and this is her best friend, the blonde girl named Orin, and she uses a sword. So she uses a hammer, and she would this is back in 2015. Wow. She would like forge, like she's a forger. She would a blacksmith. She would forge hammers and um or she would forge with her hammer and make swords, and then her friend would use the swords, and they would just go on adventures in this world that was kind of like Maple Story, which I was really inspired by at the time because I was playing it so much as a kid. And they like even this like -20 up here where she gets hit in the head with that brick is like a Maple Story thing where you lose damage. I was just inspired by that particular RPG at the time. And then I drew this on just a random whim. I was just like, I need to draw a comic page, and this was like the first comic page that I drew after a long time where I was just like, I need to expand my skills. So this was supposed to be an entry for what's it called? Oh, first of all, let me see. Steven, he said, what kind of scary are you trying to go for? That's the thing I'm still kind of trying to figure out while I'm making it. Because I have a whole Pinterest board dedicated to things that scare me personally. I'm trying to deeply scare people. Like I'm trying to scare you with what scares me. And what scares me, and I think what I'm gonna try to put into not Air Rider, Saintly is like my younger cousins would play these games. Let me show you. They would play these games like Roblox, where and I'll get back to that in a second. But they would play these games like Roblox, where it would just be random weird things chasing them, and they would have to run away, and it would just be stuff like this. And I'd be like, I want to put weird stuff like that in my comic and make it chase my characters. And that's why I call it a demon chase horror comic, because I wanted to have that evoke this feeling of weird shit chasing you, and you just want to get away from it as soon as possible. Like you just don't want to be in the same room as this thing or whatever the fuck this is. You just don't want to be in the same room as it. You want to leave as soon as possible. What did you say? 9:41 a.m. It's not 9:41 at all. What time is it actually? Okay, 10:30. And I'm gonna try to do these earlier on some days because I just thought that I would come back from work late, so I accounted for that and I posted about it earlier. So I'm gonna try to do these earlier on Thursdays, so it's not as late for you guys, so you guys can tune in a little bit earlier, probably around 8 or 8:30 or something like that. But Yeah, exactly. Yoshi says, getting chased by a low poly JPEG, ultimate nightmare feel. Yeah, exactly, dude. Like this kind of stuff, like that is weird, dude. I don't want to be chased by that. That's the kind of feeling I'm trying to evoke when shit really hits the fan. When we get into Saintly, because I just don't want to be chased by these things. Like, what the fuck? This is the kind of stuff that scares me. So I collect art like this in like Pinterest boards, so that Pinterest is my friend. Is the best thing that I ever discovered. And I used to have a blinding addiction to it, but now I'm better. I'm recovered. I don't save as much stuff. How much do I have saved in general? Like, probably last time I checked it was like 50,000 or something. But where is it? I just save a bunch of horror stuff in my horror section. Where is it? And I have a one specifically for Saintly as well, but that's more for the style of the characters and how I want to draw them, rather than the scary stuff. The scary stuff has always been scary to me. Okay, here we go. So like scary crap like this. Steven Wing says, yeah, I like it. Yeah, that's a creepy vibe. Yeah, I wanna try to nail that when I get to the creepy stuff in Saintly. Like when they're being chased, I want you to feel like you're being chased, and it's gonna be scary as shit. Like this kind of stuff, I'm gonna save that right now. Like that is, where's it? Horror unknown. Like this is fucking scary as shit. I don't want this nigga chasing me. Like fuck that. And that's the kind of feeling I want to evoke, where okay, yeah, that's scary too. And this is how I get into Pinterest, man. Like as soon as I see something, I'm just like, oh yeah, that would be good to save. Oh yeah, let me save that. Oh yeah, let me save that. This came from a short that I watched recently called hey, what the fuck? Called it's dirty in this flat or something like that. I saved it from Twitter. Let me go to YouTube so you guys can see it. I'm not gonna show the whole thing on stream or whatever, but I'm just gonna show you where I found it. Let's see. It's dirty as hell in this flat. Is that what it's called? It is not, but I saved it in my like playlist, so you should be able to see it. Okay, yeah, that's what it's called. And that's where that monster came from. It came from this short, and it's really, really good. Oh, that's a deleted. Oh man, what was that video? Man, I don't even know what that video was, so I can't even remember it to post it up again. I hate it when it does that. Like whenever it deletes videos, and then I'm just like, what was that video? Anyways, this is my horror / unknown fucking like Pinterest board, where everything that has ever like creeped me the fuck out or made me like kind of viscerally scared, I post it on this board. So I'm just like, yeah, I want to try to make that vibe insanely. And I do want to make that vibe in Air Rider, like when I reboot it, because I think having that combination of hero and horror will be kind of cool. Like I don't know, I just sense it. Like eventually I can make something like that. And these fucking books called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, they always scared me as a kid because of how uncanny the friggin' drawings looked. Like they almost look kind of human, but there's something fucked up about them. So where it like scares you, that just on the sight of them, like what the hell is this? Like it's like probably a scarecrow or some ghost or whatever, but it's it's just not all there. It's not fully formed. Whereas like normal monsters usually don't scare me. Like this is pretty fucking creepy at like in general, but normal monsters that you see like in, let's say, JJK, or this other one, Goku Raku guy monster. Like stuff like this is like, okay, yeah, that's kind of a monster, but it doesn't really scare me because it's just whatever. It's just like you can fully see it. It's just it's there. It's like, okay, well, if I was there in the situation, I'd be scared. But looking at it from this safe point of view over here, where I'm just looking at a picture on the screen, it's not scary. So I'm not really worried about it. It's just like, it's not that scary. It's kind of a basic design. This is a little bit more scary, but it doesn't scare me viscerally. Like I try to focus on what scares me at my core, like what actually freaks me out, and that helps me focus on what can scare other people. Because if I know what scares me, and it takes a lot to scare me, I think, but if I know what scares me, then I have a better idea of what can scare other people when I'm doing it. So he says, unsettling is the vibe. Yep. Creepy and freaky got me with some very weird monsters. Yeah, absolutely, man. Like these aren't even the weirdest things that I've shown. Said it's got to look as off-putting as relatable. Like you can believe it exists, like teddy bears with human teeth. Ugh. Yeah. Ew. Teddy bears with human teeth. Yeah, man. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like that is one of those things where you like believe it can actually exist. Um like fucking Tsutomu Nihei is really like a master of this, like, because not only are the monsters he draws like creepy as fuck. Like this is weird. This doesn't make any sense, but it exists in his world, and you can believe it exists in his world because there's like shadows and stuff like that. It's just standing there, and then Kiri or whatever the main character, he's like standing there in the little corner at the bottom. Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad. This is weird. Like this is weird. But then Killy in the bottom, he's just standing there. And he's smaller than the threat, but he could probably just shoot it with his gun and it'll die immediately. Like that gun he has in the manga just kills everything with no regard for human life. Like that gun is like a cheat code for his whole world. Like he just shoots everything. Creepy and freaky is a manga. Okay. I haven't read that. I gotta check that out then. And then Yoshi, he says, too many organs is also creepy. Like, imagine a room full of giant fingers. Ew. The fuck? Or toenail floor tiles. Ew. I never even thought about that. Hey, what's up, Ichthus? How you doing, man? Any recent reads? Recently, I've been rereading a lot of Rurouni Kenshin, but let me show you what I've been reading most recently. So I just finished reading through what's it called? Summer Blonde by what's his name? Adrian Tomine. And this was pretty good. Like it was a very very interesting. Like it was I think I liked it more than what's it called? Shortcomings. But Shortcomings was like about one guy. This was more like an anthology series. And then Midnight Nation. I'm rereading this because I read it a long time ago back in high school, and it was probably one of those books that I was just like, this should be a movie. If anything should be a movie, it should be this comic. And it's only 12 issues, and it's a good story all the way through. Like it's just great. So I'm rereading Midnight Nation by J. Michael Straczynski, and I think Gary Frank on the art. But he's not even credited on the front page. Wow. Yeah, but it is Gary Frank doing the art. You can tell by his line. Yep. So then let me exit solo. And yeah, I think this panel comes from JJK. And I just thought this was really good composition of showing like a threat coming near. And I was just like, man, if I can draw like that, I want to be able to evoke that feeling of just maximum like creep, weird out. I gotta take this. This is good. Where people ask you like, what manga is this? Whenever you show like one frame from it. Let's see. There we go. And I love just like saving stuff and having that visual library from me. I should actually just draw these pictures, just draw them so that I have their DNA in my mind when I'm thinking of drawing new stuff or drawing new monsters. Like Dandadan is really good at setting this creepy factor. I haven't really read any of Dandadan. I only watched the first 3 episodes, and then I was like, yeah, I don't like the narrative. I don't like how this is going because it's not really I'm gonna do a video at some point of the difference between Dandadan and Chainsaw Man and the narrative and how they tell stories, because I only watched a few episodes of Dandadan and I was just like, yeah, I can't really get behind this because it doesn't feel true. It doesn't feel like it's something that would really happen. And I don't mean the alien stuff, and I don't mean all the ghost and demon stuff. I mean the romance between the main characters. Like I always felt like it's too convenient. It's too wish fulfillment. It doesn't feel like it's a real thing that would happen. And if that's the core narrative of the story, which is surrounded by all these aliens and demons and stuff, I can't really get into the wider story if I don't believe in the emotional core story, which is what Chainsaw Man was able to do really well, because I was able to like really invest in that Chainsaw Man story. I was just like, yeah, I too would like to touch some boobs, or I too would want a relationship, or like these types of things that Denji was going through. I could really relate to what he was going through, because they were so like basic human needs, whereas Dandadan was more like, I'm gonna draw some weird shit and it's gonna be crazy and super duper well drawn. Like it's gonna be well drawn crazy stuff. He really knows how to make things look dynamic and cool and awesome and amazing. And you can tell he gets his DNA from his former sensei Tatsuki Fujimoto, because if you look, like Pinterest just showed me, like if you look at this, it's similar to something like this, where he what's his name, Kishibe, I think, where he's falling through a window and then he lands on a car, and then you have the main character girl falling through a window, and everybody simps over this character. I'm just like, man, y'all doing the most, but it's mostly teenagers, so I can't really like fault them too much. This is a good page though. I like this this drawing. It's really good. I'm gonna save it to my other board. But yeah, I want to be able to get down to this style of drawing, and like, well, not get to this style of drawing, but get to a higher level with my art and whatnot. To be able to draw things like this, like if I'm saying that Saintly is a demon chase horror manga or a horror story, well then why don't I have a chase like this? Like the chases should be like this, where, well, not necessarily like this. This is more like a fun type of chase. The ones in Saintly are going to be a little bit different. But yeah, this evokes that feeling of we're looking at something creepy that shouldn't exist, and it'd be great to try to create that feeling in my story here. Whoa, yeah, like something like this. This looks really cool. Like, people are like, "What's the manga name? Like, what's the name of the manga?" I actually want to see that. Somebody said Gaju or something. What the hell? Gaju the Beast. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna save this page. It's a horror. And this is just what I do on friggin' Pinterest all the time. I just like see something cool, save it. See something cool, save it. And then eventually I'll come back to it and draw it or something like that. Let me check out the comments here. I read a few before hopping to work. D. Grayman, Chapter 6, Rave Master, and Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, yeah, man. I have a D. Grayman right here. And I have Chainsaw Man. Well, I have what's it called? Yeah, I do have Chainsaw Man #1. And I have Full Metal Alchemist #1. I don't have any of Rave Master, but I do have a little bit of Fairy Tail. I remember seeing the anime of Rave Master like a long time ago, and I was just like, I hate this. And in fact, it inspired me to be a writer because I was just like, there's no way this is good, so I'm gonna make something better. Because there's this gang called the Booty Butt Gang, and it's a real thing, dude. The Booty Butt Gang in Rave Master. And I was watching that on, maybe it was Sci-Fi Channel, and I was just like, this is so stupid. I can make something better than this. And I don't even know if they're in the manga or not, but if they're an anime original, then the anime did them dirty, because I was just like, what is this stupid crap? And their magical attacks, their special attacks would be farting or whatever. I was just like, what the fuck? Wave Master Butt Gang. Okay, the Big Butt Bandits. I was just like, what is this stuff, dude? Yeah. I was just like, are you kidding me, dude? This. Oh, what? They are in the manga. What the fuck? Okay, so they are there in the manga. Okay. Well, maybe they were just a single gag episode in the manga or something, but they would come out in they would come out a lot in the manga, in the anime, and I would just be like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, is this what we got in the in this cartoon? So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna become a creator just so I can make something better than this. And that's partially what inspired me. Let's see. So, well, I guess I'll subscribe, then I watch any Dandadan vids I can. Yeah. Missing out on Peak, but that's up to you. No, I do want to get into it more, because the art looks really good. But the narrative, I'll just never agree with it because it's too convenient for the main character. I'm just like, bro, you didn't do anything to I guess earn the relationship. There has to be some level of effort that the man is putting into attracting the girl, but he's just himself the whole time, and that girl just like likes him because he's there. He exists and he's nice. But anyone can do that. So I'm like, if you can just do that easily, and she would just like you just because you're nice or whatever, I'm just like, I can't believe in that. I can't buy it. Dandadan romance is very wholesome. Yeah, it's wholesome, but I'm just like, man, I don't really buy it. Just because he had the same name as the actor she likes, I was just like, nope, 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 nope. But Chainsaw Man was like, Chainsaw Man relationships are very raw. Yeah, Chainsaw Man was like, this kid is looking for relationships in the wrong places, and then he's getting hurt by he's getting hurt when he finds what he's actually looking for, like, or when he wins, or when he gets success, it's not what he expected or what he wanted. There's a lesson, or there's like something that the author is trying to say with that. Whereas with Dandan, I didn't really get that feeling. It was more like the author is trying to have fun, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's cool. Like, having fun is great, but I usually prefer to get something that's more real from a story that I can hang on to. Where if the author's trying to tell me a deeper story, then I can grab onto that more. There are some deeper stories that I saw little clips of here and there on YouTube about well, not on YouTube, on Instagram, about Dandadan. But I don't know if those things were there genuinely or to manipulate like my emotions for the sake of the story. So I'm like, okay, let's see. I'm gonna read more of Dandadan eventually and see what it's all about. Because there's so much good art in it that I can't really like just write off the whole thing. It's just that right now I have to like really prioritize the time that I put into different what's the word, stories. Like I can't really just read anything or watch anything because I don't have time to even be streaming right now. I'm just like I don't even have time for just living. So all these kinds of things are difficult to put more on my plate until I become like a full-time artist, and that's why I'm doing all these YouTube videos to begin with. Oh, this is for Yoshi. Need to hop back on Chainsaw Man. Yeah, I need to hop back on that too, because there's been a lot of stuff happening on it, and I stopped around maybe the halfway point with this new season. Like, it is not it's not bad at all, but I just stopped, like, not the new season, but I mean the second part with Asa. Like, I really like her character, and she's really like funny, as this like kind of autistic type of girl who doesn't really understand human relationships and whatnot. Like, she really matches well with Denji and plays off him well, but I just haven't continued it. I'm just like letting the chapters build up, because whenever you read a chapter of Chainsaw Man, it goes by so quickly, and you're just like, well, where's the rest? You know what I mean? Like, and that's a manga artist trick that I'm gonna do a video about soon. But to give you the long and short of it, it's just a way to keep up with his deadlines, because he is trying to tell a story and he has a story in mind, but to give it to you all in one chapter would be kind of a waste of energy, because then you'd have to come up with even more story for the next chapter. So what he does is, like, he super decompresses everything, so that if in one chapter he could give you 5 story beats of what happens in the story of Chainsaw Man, he's gonna space that out among 5 chapters, where he's giving you one story beat in this chapter, and then the next chapter something else happens, and then the next chapter something else happens. Where if you were to read, let's say, Saintly, it gives you so much in that first chapter that you're just like, wow, this is a lot of stuff. There's a lot of story beats. The story has really progressed a lot. Whereas in Chainsaw Man, those story beats are going to be spread out to where it only progresses the story one step in each chapter, and that makes it easier on the artist, to the creator, the writer, who's both the artist and the writer, to create on a weekly basis. And that's why the chapters feel so small, because he's giving himself time to come up with more story, by only giving a little bit of story in this chapter, a little bit of story in the next chapter, a little bit of story. At least that's how I see it in my head. They're in Fairy Tail too? What the hell? That doesn't make any sense. The booty butt gang is it's not even the booty butt gang, it's the big butt bandits. That's what they call them. That's so stupid. Big booty butt gang seems like a Latina crime gang. Use their beauty to persuade men to do crimes with them. Yeah, man, it's crazy. The big butt bandits. What are we doing? I have no clue, man. I have no clue. Baby got back. Yep. The BBB. Yep. D. Gray Man art is beautiful and the story concept are fun thus far. Yeah, I haven't really read too much of it. I only partially got through the first chapter, and I was mostly using it to try to figure out the art style of Saintly. Like, is there anything I could take from this art style to make my own stuff better? But yeah, anything that's kind of like analog horror or just weird creepy stuff like this, I want to put it in Saintly and make it more interesting to look at. Let me get this where is my horror tab? I'm still tying this back around. I'm going to go back to what I was originally talking about. But yeah, hold on. Pull up. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna have to restart this app. Okay, let's see. Nope. No. There we go. Okay. Shut up. All right, let's go. Where we at? Here we go. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, so like I just save all the creepy stuff that I've come across across the internet, and I'm gonna find a way to put it into Saintly somehow. And then I was talking about previously on DeviantArt. Yeah, this was supposed to be an entry for the silent manga audition. I was trying to do a story about a girl who lost her mom, and then like in a biking accident, and then I was trying to figure out like what. Well, I don't remember what the story proper was about. I just remember that this was the best page that I did from it, and the what's the word? The first page was just kind of trash. I was just like, damn, this first page sucks. But then the second page was like, I felt good enough to post it, and I was just like, man, I can't draw consistently enough to make a manga that would win that contest. That's why I gave up at that point. Like, I was just like, okay, I can draw one or two good pages, but then for some reason I can't draw multiple good pages. It's always like it gets shittier the longer I go on. I was just like, why can't I make the consistency of my my art much better? Serge says, really solid paneling. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, it was just like, why can't I make more consistently good stuff? And then I started trying to do this story, the one I was talking about with the hammer girl, and it was just too unwieldy. Like it was too long, too involved, and I couldn't. I knew I just didn't have the writing skill to be able to draw it. I just knew inside my heart of hearts. I was just like, yeah, I just don't have the skill to be able to pull this off right now. Even though I think about it all day and all night, and I type out the story beats and I type out story things. Like I just don't know enough about writing to pull this off correctly. So I'm just gonna have to stop it and draw, like just draw as much as I can and improve at art. Like this is one of my favorite drawings just because of this leg right here. Like I feel like I really nailed that shadow, and it always makes my brain feel nice whenever I look at it. But I was studying like really older like inking techniques, and this was probably I probably did this on copy paper. I was doing a lot of practices and studies on copy paper back then. And this was all on copy paper too. Yeah, so this was like, yeah, this was my character. She used a hammer, and this was gonna be a long ass story back when I first came up with it, but it just didn't go anywhere. Oh well, it's not that it didn't go anywhere, it's just like I knew I couldn't make it at the time, so I came up with, hold on, let's see. Okay. Yeah, I knew I couldn't make it at the time, so I just stopped creating it. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna have to start off with something easier, something that I can manage, something that I can make in a shorter amount of time. This isn't the same. This is Orin. This is the same character from that series. And that's why I started with Air Rider. That's why I was just like, yeah, I can do Air Rider a lot faster, a lot better, and I don't have this big old pressure of trying to make it perfect. Or this long overarching story, but then it eventually turned into this long overarching story that I thought I had to make perfect and all that stuff, but I at least got started on it. So this one was much less pressure to actually do. And during the Kubert school, I just did so much like material for it that I was like, all right, well, I have enough for a whole series, so like I'm gonna just get it started now. Let's see. Ictus says, you're going to color Saintly as well? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to color Saintly, all of Saintly, and the current chapter I'm working on, I'm going to color that as well, and then every chapter after that. So yeah, absolutely. Okay, Stephen Wings said, you think you want to enter a manga contest sometime in the future? Definitely feel that about getting good enough to do one shots at a certain level. Yeah, I'm probably never going to do a manga contest ever again. Just because I know that, well, it's not that I know, but it's like there's a lot of things that you could be doing in your art that just wouldn't appeal to the Japanese reading public. Like there's certain tastes that they have that if you don't cater to their taste, then you're just not gonna win. And then if you're not doing something that you could sell on your own, like if you're gonna do your own IP, your own story, and you're just making a one shot for one shot sake, now you're just putting out you're putting all this effort and energy into a story that is going to, one, the audience, like if you don't succeed, like if you don't win any awards, then maybe you can put it out as a story where you can make money off of it. But I don't want to create a whole entire new story just to just for the chance at winning a manga contest. I used to get all riled up, like I used to get all charged up and fired up for making manga contests back in the day, when I thought like I'm going to win and I'm going to get famous and finally get my finally win and make this money. And and anime and all that stuff. But last contest, I submitted a black and white manga version of Air Rider 1, and there's no way that would even break into the runners up. You know what I mean? Like, the style is too different. The style is too cartoony, like not what the Japanese are looking for. People don't necessarily fuck with the style in general, and it's not the type of story that they would uh appreciate or like. And it probably just wasn't drawn that well. Like, it wasn't drawn that well. And even though you can make it with badly drawn art or not as well drawn art, you still have to tell it in Kisho Tenketsu. You still have to tell it in the style that the Japanese are used to reading. And I just didn't know about that at the time when I was making Air Rider #1. I was just like, I gotta get this out somehow, some way. And if it wins a contest, then cool. If not, then I'm cool either way. Same with Saintly. I don't believe Saintly #1 could win a contest either, because of the way that it's drawn and the way that it's told. It's not told in the Japanese way, even though it's told way better than #1 of Air Rider. It is still too cramped. Like, there's too many plot points in chapter 1 that make it too what's the word, condensed. If it was more spaced out and told the story in a different way that is more fitting to manga, then it would be more fitting for a manga contest or something like that. Let's see, what's the longest story you made page count wise? Air Rider. Yep, Air Rider so far. So I made 3 chapters of Air Rider, but one of them is unpublished, and that is chapter #3. But Air Rider has literally the most pages of effort that I've put into anything. So yeah, definitely Air Rider. Would I ever do comic analysis videos? Maybe on request. Like, I have a Patreon that I'm trying to start up, and I might do comic analysis on request, but it's not the main thing that I try to do, because I'm doing a video every single day and I can't really dive into comic analysis as deeply as the channels that are really dedicated to that. Especially because I'm a creator and I don't have the time, really. I just don't have the time to really do a deep dive into the comic and how it was made. It would depend on how I would want to analyze the story. It would probably be more of a storytelling basis that I would do analysis videos. But yeah, I just don't have that analysis mind. There's stuff that I do want to talk about that I would do videos on, and I'll probably show y'all a little bit about that right now on the stream. Ichthus, he said, damn, you're a one-man band for your series. Yeah, man, always have been, and I wouldn't say always will be, but I just saw that other creators, like webcomic creators, were doing all of it themselves, and I was just like, well, if it's possible to do all of it yourself, then I should develop the skills to do all of it so that I don't have to rely on anyone else to make my stuff. So I just basically taught myself how to do everything that I needed to do, and then I learned how to do it professionally in the Qbert school. Says, I see your style is a blend of Eastern manga style, no different than Joe Mad. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Joe Mad is really, really high level, man. He's really good at rounding out the forms and making them feel like really like in your face. Like, he's really good at making them like very strong forms. Stephen Lee says, I feel that though, playing the manga game is playing the manga game. Yeah, it's even if you win, what do you win? win indentured like indentured servitude to the manga system, where you just you can do nothing but making the manga and eventually getting an anime if you succeed with that. And that is like um it's not a game I want to play because it's so harsh, that industry. And they have similar problems to the American industry, but in a different way, just in a way different way. So yeah, I think I like the ability of being able to color my stuff and express more of my work through color and that. So what was I wanting to talk about? If I go to Pinterest, not only creepy stuff, but this is a video that I did earlier. But if I wanted to do like I'll end the stream pretty soon. But yeah, if I wanted to do like like analysis videos and stuff like that, I would do it on art like this. Art that is like beautiful. Like it's a mixture of like liminal space and Y2K style, like early 2000s style that is kind of not this real like creepy weird thing at the bottom there, but ew, this is weird. I like it. I'm gonna put this, where would I want to put this? I want to put this in interesting, which is kind of like what I like, but it's more of a darker flavor. Where's that? Interesting too. There we go. This is weird. I like it. Yeah, I'd want to do analysis videos on stuff like this that has like this mood of like gloominess, or this mood of like just this vibe of almost cybernetic. I don't know how to describe it. I really don't know how to describe it. But I'm gonna do videos about stuff like this, because I want to be able to tell stories that look like this, and I want to create Saintly to look something like this, but I just don't paint that much. And I was gonna do like show y'all a painting that I was working, like the colors in this like really spark something in my brain, like the way they layered the darkness with the light, and then the way everything is still, it feels like a natural painting, like a natural setting. I'm like, this is perfect. I like the way it's colored. Or Demi Zuposka, the artist for The Promised Neverland, like all that kind of stuff is beautiful to me. So yeah, just like stuff. I'm gonna do a video on this creator at some point, because they make really cool stuff. This animation like actually spins really fast. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. Will it pull up? No, it won't go to the actual like link. Damn it. Anyways, Yoshi says, some of us do want to slave away at it, but my skill level just isn't there yet. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. I've had that feeling like, man, I would want to slave away at it. I would want to put all my energy and time and effort into it. Like, I would want to do that. And I used to think like that, especially when I was younger, but like, I realized that I would have to learn Japanese on some level. and then I'd have to figure out what do the Japanese people like, and then I realized I couldn't color or draw my story how I want. I couldn't color it like this. I couldn't color every page to be like this. I'd have to make it in black and white just for the chance of having an anime, and I might not even be able to keep up with the other creators. And I was just like, at some point I was just like, yeah, I can't. It's not that I can't, and it's not that I believe that I can't, but it's more like I let too much time lapse to where I just wasn't as interested in that idea of doing it anymore. Like even now I still think I would love to go and see how they create manga in Japan, so I can steal their techniques and you know, just take it back to my work ethic in America. But I don't really romanticize that um, that grinding uh, way that they do things over there. But I still identify with wanting to put my all and slave away at something and give and bleed on the page and give my life for this stuff. I would give my life even now for creating the kind of stuff I want to make. But if I just am in a different land, in a foreign land where I have no idea what actually works or what doesn't, and I can't really go based on my own instincts, then it'll be too, it'll be almost like a Pyrrhic victory. Like if I actually do make it, then it'll be so difficult just to stay in there that I'll only be able to make a couple chapters before I crash out or burn out. But yeah, even getting an anime is no guarantee financial success. Some people make their manga, get the anime, and still have to get a job at the end of it. So yeah, there's other ways to make your comic and get an anime completely on your own, especially these days. Like technology is catching up to the point where you can do all that stuff on your own, or you can get raise your own studio to be able to do that stuff. So I think we're getting to that point where you don't have to rely on the corporations or whatever to make your anime, and you can get funding however you want if you build your own platform and build your audience that way. Did it kind of feel like you were playing the Western comic game while you were at the Kubert School? Um, no, not really. But you understood what the Western comic game was like, because all the teachers were working in Western comics, so you would understand what it was like from their perspective, because they would just tell you like, oh, this is what I did with my week, this is what I did, and these are some pages that I did for comics. They'd be like, these are the inks that I did, these are the colors, check them out, like here they are. They post them on the board, and then you would just take a look at those, and that's how we would, let's go, I know where it would go. That's how we would like I get into the American comic game. So the aesthetics. I don't know grind punk. I'd have to actually like look into that. There's this hot girl on Instagram who's talking about like aesthetics and whatnot, and that's kind of how I heard about some other aesthetics of like the name of aesthetics of the stuff that I like, but I just don't know the name of. Like she would talk about what they're actually called, and I was just like, all right, dope. I feel like it'll be a matter of time where a space like that, like what you are talking about, will appear. I don't know what it looks like, what that'll look like, but I feel your sentiment is shared with a lot of other indie creators. Yeah, I think it'll get to a place one day where we're actually able to develop our own studios where we can get the funding, because like I see that with Has Been Hotel. That stuff started off um as a what do you call it? Like I read some of the webcomics of that stuff, like of the characters that they would put in that series. There were webcomics of them before the animation ever came out. Then they did a pilot. The pilot made got a lot of views. Then they were able to make a studio, and then they're on Netflix now. It's like, how did you even do that? Is that even like? I want to do that if that's possible. Like, if it's possible for me and what I'm trying to make, I want to be able to do that. Um, and it's like, you don't need to go through the regular channels anymore to get your thing made. And if I don't have to go through them anymore, and I can just start my YouTube channel, start talking about what I like, start creating more of what I like, and develop my own art style, then that's what I'd rather do than jump into the manga industry, where even they have to make YouTube channels nowadays to try to get some traction. There, a lot of the creators that you see published, they're on Twitter. You could just talk to them. They're on Twitter now. They're posting on Twitter. They're having to do the same things that we're doing in America, even though they work in Japan, where everything's supposedly the best. So I'm not sure if they do it because they have to, or they do it because they want to. But even they have trouble dealing with the harshness of their industry. Like, what's his name? Um, Takehiko Inoue had trouble with it. Yoshihiro Togashi, by the end of Yu Yu Hakusho, had trouble with it. Only a very, very rare few people have the wherewithal and the skill and the mental and physical capability of handling a weekly series. Oda is one of them, and even his body is having trouble keeping up with that in his older years, because he made a series that's just so long that he can only do One Piece. He probably could never make another long. He doesn't have enough time. He doesn't have enough life time to create another long form series like One Piece. One Piece is gonna be what he leaves behind on this earth, and it's because he was uniquely designed to create that thing. That's the thing. Like, he is the only one who could have created One Piece, and One Piece is not even. It's at this point, it's almost not even a creation of him. It's more like he's just channeling this idea through himself, through his pen, to transform the consciousness of the world, if that makes sense. Like, it's starting to seep into the consciousness of everybody around the world, like what One Piece is and like what it represents. And Oda is just the pen, just the person to be able to put that through. And he's not a monster because he's like aiming to be the number one creator of One Piece. Like, oh, he probably didn't start One Piece saying like, oh, I'm gonna make the most number one comic in the world. Nobody ever thinks that. Or I'm gonna beat Dragon Ball. Like, he didn't start off thinking that. He just started off thinking like, oh, if I'm gonna have to work hard either way, whether I become a manga artist or a salary man, I'm just gonna become a manga artist so I can draw what I want. And that's what he started One Piece with. But he is channeling through something that is life-changing for people when they read it. And One Piece is certainly like inspired me in a lot of ways as well. Let's see what other comments. Why is this industry so hard? It shouldn't be. It's comics. Yeah, that's the deceptive part. Like, you think that all those nice, sweet, cool looking Ghibli movies were made with love and sweetness and kindness, but no, they were made by a hard nosed, hard ass guy like Hayao Miyazaki, and just telling everybody what to do. Like he would critique them harshly, like, bro, why are you even alive? Like, is this the best you can do? Like that those movies were made off of like the backs of a dictator, man. Like hard slave labor was creates the most beautiful the most beautiful work, and that's how it is in manga and comics. But if you don't give uh if you don't come into this stuff with the dedication of I want to give my life to this craft, then it's it's not gonna it's not gonna be enough to remain in this industry for long. Because you're basically giving your life, giving up of yourself to create more life on the page, create the illusion of life on the page for your characters, and eventually somebody else will read that and be inspired to do the same, or live by what your characters are doing on the page, or just be entertained for a day and take that entertainment and happiness with them and go on about their life and enjoy a little bit more. Like comics can be the ultimate escapism if you put your whole self into it, but it requires you to put your whole self into it. You can't half-ass it. If you half-ass it, you're just doing it for fun, you know. And that's totally fine. It's totally fine to do it for fun. Um, Yoshi says facts. Yeah, they're just built different. Yeah, they're built different out there for sure. Said, imagine if you can know your legacy while living. One Piece is huge. Yeah, imagine. Because One Piece, even after it's done, it won't be done. Like, you know, you thought Dragon Ball Z was done after it was done? No. It has gone on for till now for decades, and it's over 25, maybe 30 years after its initial run ended, and it's still going on because they're just like, yeah, we can't let this die, and it's holding up our economy, so we need it now. One Piece will take up that mantle, and even Oda won't be able to live to see what One Piece will eventually do. Even we won't be able to live long enough to see what One Piece will eventually do to the consciousness of the earth, of the world, of humanity. And they're gonna be able to milk that thing dry. Like in fact, it won't go dry. They'll just be able to milk it forever. They can remake it forever. It's just a golden IP that will never, ever, 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 ever die. It'll just people will just be able to keep making stuff out of One Piece ad infinitum forever. If it ends correctly or if it ends well, like whether it ends well or not, it'll just be always evergreen. They could always make something out of it, just as much as they do with Dragon Ball, and it doesn't even have that much story material to work off of. They just keep creating new ideas based off of little hints here and there of what Akira Toriyama put in Dragon Ball. But One Piece has so much story-based content, so much story content inside of its world that they're probably gonna make a spin-off just to show you how Aokiji and Akainu like fought on that island where they transformed it on Punk Hazard, where they terraformed it into ice and fire. They're gonna be able to they're gonna do a whole like little anime movie out of that. They could do movies about little side things that were mentioned here and there in the story, and create entire things out of that. And One Piece is almost done, so it's just gonna be they're just gonna be able to milk it forever, long beyond our lifespans. So yeah. Steven, he says, I mean, making art is hard. I just wish it was easier to get art to the people. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of areas where this whole thing could be easier. Yeah, there's ways it could be easier, but it's just a matter of finding them. But if it was easy, anyone could do it, and then it wouldn't be worth doing. If this was easy, I wouldn't even be doing this channel, or I wouldn't be doing this comic. I would just be like, whatever. I'll find something harder to do, because I'm just built like that. I want to do hard things to get the rewards that nobody else can have. So making comics for me is like that, where if I can just make the comic in the way that I want to and get the reaction that I want to from people, and people feel compelled to give me some money from it, then that's what I live for. Like, I really, really want to make something that touches people so much that they want to give me money for it. And that's why I make comics, and I want to create that full time. And because it's so hard to reach that point of creating things full time, it's worth pursuing, because everyone wants to be able to create something full time. They want to create, oh, I want to draw today and I'm going to make something cool, and then people are going to pay me money. Everyone wants to be able to do that. And because it's so hard to do and so hard to reach, that's why it's worth pursuing. That's why I want to pursue it with all I can, because once I reach that place, it's like, okay, cool, I did that. Now I can move on to focusing on my art and creating stuff that will feed people's souls and change people's lives and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's worth pursuing. Dominic Glover, what's up, man? I think I saw your comment on a previous video. You said, do you find YouTube to be a distraction? Do you think you would get more done if you didn't post so much? Yeah, definitely I would get more done, but at the same time, it's like, by the time I get that stuff done, I wouldn't have as many viewers, or I wouldn't have as many people interested in what I'm doing. YouTube is like a risk reward type of thing, where if you put in the time to make these videos, and they don't really take that much time out of the day, it's just that after work it can take some time, but since it's helping me develop skills that I would need anyway. I need to be able to talk about my work. I need to be able to write compelling copy. I need to be able to develop the business skills to bring people to my work. And YouTube is the easiest way to do that. Grinding YouTube is the easiest way to do that. If you have that skill, if you're not afraid to show yourself on camera, if you're not afraid to keep putting stuff out there, then you can develop that audience in a way that you can't really do as well with Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. You can develop an audience, a more dedicated audience on YouTube, and then get people to read more of your stuff. And I don't consider it a distraction anymore. I consider it part of my business. Even though this business isn't making like crazy money or anything yet, it is part of my business strategy, and I cannot stop until I until I reach full time. Like I literally promised to keep going until I reach full time. So that's the goal here. Let's see. One Piece is 27 years-ish old. Think about where Spider-Man was at 27 years compared to now. Yeah, it's crazy how much One Piece has accomplished, or Oda has accomplished with One Piece. We all wish we could make something that changed the world that we created. Yeah, it is the dream of creators to be able to do that. And some people just like, if I could just change one person's day, or like improve one person's day, that's really all that matters to me in making comics. Like, because there's so much content to watch and read out there, that if somebody chooses to read my stuff, it's like, I feel honored, because you could have read anything else, or you could have watched anything else, but you took the time to read Saintly, or you took the time to read Air Rider, and I really appreciate that. So I appreciate y'all for watching this as well, and sticking around with me, and hanging out, because you could have been anywhere else doing anything else, but you just hung out with me, so I appreciate that. Steven Wing says, well said. It's definitely worth pursuing that goal. Yeah, because what's the alternative? You just work at a desk job all day. Well, that's kind of what drawing is, but you work at a job that you don't really like for money, and then you're not really invested in it. But then if you're so passionate about art that you're willing to give your life for it, then it's like that's more worth pursuing than a job that you rather wouldn't do and wouldn't give your life for it. So yeah. Dominic says, I would love to get your feedback on my comic. It's called Monkey with a Katana. Yeah, dude. Actually, just either you can email me or hit me up on Instagram, and we'll check it. I'll check it out. Just send me like I don't know, an email or a DM, and then I'll take a look at it for sure. Let me see. Yeah, more fulfilling desk job for sure. Yeah, I'm planning to do a video on that where Naruto wanted to become Hokage, but he really only ended up becoming a desk worker, and I just realized that that's exactly what I've been trying to do. Like, I'm trying to become a full-time creator, but I just realized that I'm just gonna be strapped to my desk the whole time. So, so I gotta find some ways to get out of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this stream. Like, this has been a good couple of hours, and we had some good time. So I'm probably gonna do this a little bit earlier next time, just because I thought my job or whatever job I was working today would let out so late that that I would need some time to recover, and then 9:30 would be the time. But no, this was actually way later in the day, and I was just like, I still have some. I could have started earlier, but I already set it to be at 9:30 on the post. So yeah, I'm gonna come back next Thursday and every other Thursday after that, and I'm still posting a video every day, and I'm getting back to most of the comments that people send me, and I really like talking to you guys in the comments on under my videos. So yes, send me your comments. I try to reply to as much of them as I possibly can whenever I can. It could be like 2 weeks before I get to your comment, because I'm posting literally every day. So if you comment on a video, either I'll respond to it immediately or respond to it in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm still continuing on that. Stephen Wing says, drawing with standing desk. That's the dream. Yep, that is the dream, man. And on that note, we'll close out, and I will see y'all in the next week. I'll see y'all in the next stream. Peace. He says, thanks for the stream. Congrats again on the book launch. Appreciate you. Y'all take care now in the chat. Yep. You too, man. Appreciate it. Good night, y'all.